So here is my trading 2-on-2 stocks ISA. Over the past week, I am down by 1.8% or a loss of £2,194. I hold 11,180 shares in this fund, the iShares Core S&P 500, the GSPX, and I chose this fund because it was a hedged version of the S&P 500, meaning the currency fluctuation between the pound and the dollar, they are more stabilized. But even then, as you can see, this fund over the past month is down by 3%. My 11,000 shares are now worth £110,469, down by 2.45% or a loss of £2,773. Now, I have also been investing £100 every day into the Nasdaq 100, and you can see in 12 days, I am down by 4.88%. or a loss of £58.50. The Nasdaq 100 is even worse affected than the S&P 500, down by 4.68% over the past month. Now over here, this is my trading 2-on-2 invest account, and I'm actually down again with the S&P 500. As you can see, I own 2,160 shares in them. I bought this at a lower price, but even then I am down by 0.89% or £191. Now, despite all my losses, in this video, I'm going to tell you why I really want a stock market crash. Now, if you would like to sign up to trading 2-on-2 and receive a free fractional share worth up to £100, all you have to do is to use the link in the description box down below. Alternatively, if you've signed up in the past 10 days and haven't received a free share, all you have to do is to click the 3 horizontal line menu over here, scroll all the way down until you see the section use promo code, and here you can enter my code JUBAIR and you should receive a free fractional share. So you can see that the S&P 500 over the past few months has been making lots of record highs. As you can see, it seems like every other day we see a news report saying that there are new record highs. However, over the past month, things have gone down for the S&P 500, which in a winning streak does seem to be quite concerning. At the end of the day, nobody actually knows when the stock market is going to crash. But if a crash were to happen, even with the amount that I have invested, which over my different portfolios is well over £150,000, a 50% stock market crash could cause me to, on paper anyway, lose £75,000 if it was a 50% crash, or if a 60% crash, then even more. However, the whole point of my stocks portfolio, as you can see that I'm trying to grow in my trading 2-on-2 invest account and my stocks ISA, is to one day be able to retire tax-free with the portfolio that I have. I can take out bits and pieces from it per year without it depleting by the time basically that I'm gone. Now, my whole point with the trading 2-on-2 invest account is to generate at least £20,000, so that I can transfer into my ISA, making it so that I can max out my stocks and shares every single year, because currently we get a very generous £20,000 per tax year that we can deposit, put it into stocks and shares, and hopefully our money can grow to our desired, portfolio size, which for me is at least £600,000 or £1 million, so that I can basically, with the 4% rule, take out around £40,000 tax-free per year. And that should help me, to retire, in addition to my pensions and things like that. Now, if a stock market crash were to happen, the value of this portfolio could easily halve. So my ISA could go back to being just £60,000. However, that would mean that, I get my investing gears on maximum, because what I would do then is to maximize any spare amount of cash that I have, dump it into the stock market, knowing full well that essentially I am buying these stocks at a discount. That being said, let me just give you the caveats. There is no such thing as, guaranteed returns in the future. Eventually, there will come a time, this is the only guarantee that we have, is that everything will end. Everything has a beginning and an end. This is getting philosophical, but eventually the stock market will never recover again. That is because something will happen, there'll be something better or worse. But, until that day comes, all we can do is hope that the future of the stock market, keeps providing us money, because as investors, we can only do one thing, and that is expect future returns. And if we think those future returns are not going to be there, then what we do is pull out our money. As you can see, every now and then we do have a stock market crash. Now, if the stock market were to crash, then of course I will be putting in as much money as I possibly can. The money that I have in my premium bonds, if the stock market were to go down 50%, I would definitely put all of that in. In addition to that, I will actually put in as much money as I possibly can into my self-invested personal pension. Currently, I don't have a SIP, but I am actually thinking about opening a SIP. And although I talk a lot on this channel about trading 2-on-2, unfortunately, they don't offer a SIP. Now, as much as, you know, I've talked bad about free trade, I am thinking of potentially maybe opening a SIP with free trade. The other alternative would be Invest Engine, which have basically no platform fee when it comes to SIP. However, I do really like the fact that I could potentially trade my way into a larger SIP. Of course, me taking on all the risk that potentially comes with trying to do that. I will keep you guys updated, but of course, if it does come down to free trade, I will do portfolio updates. And even though there is no referral program for free trade, I really don't care because it's not always about referral. It's always been about my personal journey when it comes to investing and the stock market, and that's what this channel is about. If I don't make money off it, it is also fine. I do genuinely always talk about the platforms that I use, and that's why I make videos constantly about the platforms that I use and why I talk so much about Trading 212, because it's honestly very hard to beat them as a platform. I do also want to talk about what happened to the S&P 500 on Friday, because it actually did close basically 1.6% higher than the previous close. Now, the thing with the GSPX is that this is a UK domiciled ETF, meaning that, you know, it stops trading at 4:30 p.m. on a Friday. And so these gains that we've seen with the S&P 500 on the last trading day, they haven't materialized in this ETF, which also means that potentially on Monday, which will be tomorrow if you're watching this video on Sunday, we could be seeing a stock market rally, or at least a 1 to 2% gain in the GSPX, meaning that also the 2.4% loss that I'm seeing here could quite easily become a whole lot less. If you were to ask me if the stock market is going to crash, of course I would never be able to give you an answer when and where. But if you ask me if it's going to crash on Monday, looking at what we've seen from Friday, I highly doubt that. Although a lot of the times we do get fake rallies where it rallies up a bit and then we see a 50-60% crash. Has happened in the past, but again, past performance is no indication for future performance. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you in the next video.